Palmer 1. This is Palmer 1. The voice of Gorman. This is Palmer 1, making an emergency broadcast on all open channels. Pick that up. This is Palmer 1. This is Palmer 1. We are under siege. We're being slaughtered. The imperial murder of Gorman has begun. There are hundreds of bodies this moment. As I say these words, hundreds of murdered Gorman lay dead in Palmer Plaza. Thousands more on the streets, more every minute. We're being destroyed. This is Gorman reaching for any open channel that can hear me. If you can hear me. If you believe in truth, if you have any faith left in truth, please mark this message and pass it forward. This is murder! The Empire built this fire. They made this fire and led us to the slaughter. Now they expect us to die without knowing why. The conspiracy we feared is real. It's here today. Imperial ships are already landing across the Help us! Is there no one who can help us? Is there no one?
I'm gonna watch me some Andor and podcast with Candor about this Star Wars show on Disney Plus. This is the second season, but it also is the last one. And Disney pulled the fast one, putting out 3 episodes at once. Yes, I am watching Andor and talking with Candor. It's what the Mandalorian man's for. That is my podcast show. This is the second season, but it also is the last one. It should lead right up to Rogue One, and we all know how that goes. This is a podcast on Andor called Andor with Candor, about that Star Wars show on Disney Plus. This is the second season, but it also is the last one. It should lead right up to Rogue One, and we all know how that goes.
Greetings, Star Wars fans, and welcome back to what I can guarantee will be a better episode than the last thing you listened to. In The Mandalorian Man Presents Andor with Candor. I fully admit that the last episode it was doomed to fail like right away. I mean, I was coming at you a day after watching the episode and trying to fill in without rewatching it. Maybe I should have rewatched it. That might have been a good idea. But you know, no takebacks. There's no backsies in this podcast. I hit record, I go, and that's what you got. But what I can at least fairly guarantee, without even knowing how this one's going to go, I can pretty much guarantee that this one will be better. And I think the reason why is I just watched it. I just finished episode 8 of season 2 of Andor. Who are you? Who? And that was an incredible episode of television. A game-changing episode of Andor. Even though I know there's only one episode left in this chapter. That's what I call them blocks, but they're really like chapters. Chapter 2, Chapter 1 of Season 2. This is Chapter 3 of Season 2. It's almost done, and then we get one more chunk, one more block, one more chapter of Andor coming this Tuesday. But I'm looking forward to finishing up and catching up with the rest of you by the end of tonight. I can only imagine what comes next. This feels like, right here, it should have been episode number 9. Like, how in the hell is there something after this? Think about it. If this was the last episode of the block, you'd be like, wow, what a way to go out. Now we know this happened, they're gone. And we'd be ready for the final block. But it's like now there's another episode after this. You know, the last one, yeah, it kind of gets you set up. It gets you in place. It gets you set up for where we are in the timeline, where we are in the story. But this one just went cuckoo bananas. Everything that the Empire was building up towards, as far as getting the world to, I guess, side with them, all of that was like came to realization in this episode. If you remember going back to the beginning of this whole, I can't even think of it, Calkite. Calkite, take me away. If you remember at the very beginning, they basically brought in two like ad men with propaganda ideas of how to kind of just using campaigns and ads to get people to side with the Empire. And it was Dedra who says you need to have a systematic, insurgence within to kind of give civil unrest and get everything, get the world on the Empire's side and let the Empire be like, this is why we have to be here. We have to kind of deal with this. At least that's what I'm thinking as. This entire thing, all these people, all the work they've done, the rebels, all the plans, the deaths, all of it was done under the watch of the Empire. They hoped for it. They were ready for it. They planned on it. And it happened. Everything happened to a T, exactly the way the Empire wanted it. Exactly the way Dedra wanted it. This is what she asked for. And yet at the very end of this episode, she realizes, it almost seems like she cannot believe what she actually did, what she had, could she live with herself? No, I don't know if she knows the full outcome. I don't know if she knows. And Cyril's gone. Yes, this guy has been, quote unquote, the enemy for much of the series. Maybe the enemy is a strong point. He's been the antithesis of Andor. And he has been looking for Cassian Andor, for years. And Andor doesn't even know who he is. That's the title of the episode right there. Who are you? That had to have been just a punch in the gut to this guy who, after all these years, actually sees Andor in this, part of this rebellion, probably blames him for it. And he's like, he's finally going to take this guy out. Or is he? Like, is there a moment where he paused because he realizes, I can't do this? Maybe he had a change of heart right at the last moment. It doesn't matter. He's gone because the people that were planning this rebellion think that he double-crossed them. And in a way, he did double-cross them. He actually did double-cross them. Now, I shouldn't say in a way. He did double-cross them. He just didn't realize why he was double-crossing them. And that's what hurt him the most. It wasn't as much as like, oh, what have I done? But it's like, why have I done this? Why is all this happening? My guess is that he is okay with, squashing out a rebellion, quote unquote terrorists, but I don't think he's okay with innocent people, being the fodder. And you could see that Ted Lasso looking mofo, Captain, Kooky, whatever, I think it was a K. He's got the scar on his face, but it looked a little Jason Sudeikis-y for me. So Captain Ted Lasso not only was okay with it, he relished it. He had a little grin on his face when it was all happening. It was like, so, I mean, I'm all over the place, but look, this episode was just insane. And really the meat of it is the rebellion, the quote unquote, insurrection really turned into violence, turned into riots, turned into kind of just a massacre. And it was all part of the plan. You have all these Imperial soldiers setting up barricades at the beginning. Why are they setting up barricades? Because they're barricading in their building. Well, really, what they're doing is just being like, okay, we're opening this area up. Oh, well, that's going to invite all the people into protest. That's what's part of the plan. Andor was like, what the hell's going on here? With this, all the barricades up, I can't get a clear shot. I can't do this. So he's like, I got to get the hell out of here. He does talk to that guy in the hotel a little. He's like, I never checked you in. And he goes, we're going to have hope. And did the guy say, like, rebellions are built on hope or something like that? Now, I'm pretty positive that guy, he's dead, right? Like, he blew himself up to take out part of this wall, or to take out some of the stormtroopers, right? Like, he sacrificed himself. Am I correct in that? Yes, I would believe so. Most of the team we see are not team. Most of the Gorm front. Not all of them, but most of the faces that we've seen were dead, ended up dead, or, dying. It seems like the Empire and Krennic and the Emperor, they were like, we've waited long enough. And, the General Man, Empire General, he's like, we've waited long enough, Didra. They've brought in mining ships. Things are starting. Now they're saying it's rumors. Even Sarah's like, what? These are rumors. I don't know anything about this. What the hell's going on? And he was confronted by the head of the Gorm front, who's like, you betrayed us. What have you done? He sees this as a trap. He sees all these people coming into the square. Now he remembers people being in a square, and friggin' Moff Tarkin, right? That's his name. Just lands right on them, killing them. So he's like, he sees it happening again. All these people being brought in together so that all hell could break loose. And the people, I don't want to say they fell for it, but it was like they did exactly what the Empire hoped they would do. They'd show up and start a peaceful protest. And the protest was fine. It started with a chant, we are Gorm, the galaxy is watching. We are Gorm, the galaxy is watching. Then it turned into one of the guys singing the Gorm anthem. I want to say the national anthem, the planetary anthem. And the whole group turns to start singing that. So what's the plan? Oh, we need to keep this area open. So send these guards through. I apologize in advance if you notice little edits. That is me trying to edit around yawning. And I shouldn't be yawning that much. I mean, it's 8:58 p.m. If I'm yawning now, guess how the next episode's going to go. We can only imagine. But he sends these basically these green soldiers that aren't ready for anything. And they were brought in. And why were they brought in? Because they were green. Because they did not have the experience. They're underexperienced. And they're going to hopefully make a mistake, which will cause, like, they're expendables. They're basically put out there. If a mistake happens, they'll react poorly, and all hell will break loose. And they were making their way through. Okay, it wasn't that bad until and this was the thing, Dedra was part of all of this. It wasn't like that Ted Lasso dude said, hey, all of a sudden he starts doing things. She's like, what's this? I didn't agree to this. She agreed to everything. Okay, but before we got there, Cyril figures out what's going on. He gets confronted by the old man from the Gorm front, and he makes his way into the building, makes his way to Dedra, and he's like, what the hell is going on here? She's like, we can go. We're going to be heroes. He's like, what are the ships here? What is going on? She finally tells him because he snaps. Now, he snaps a little too much. I know Dedra is kind of, she's villainous enough. For what she does. I definitely said while watching this, and I was watching this on my laptop in bed, my wife was in the bed. I left the room. Like, she's asleep. I've told you she's recovering from back surgery, so she's doing good. She's like, "Oh, do you want to watch it in bed?" I said, "Sure, I'll watch it in bed, but then I'm going to leave because I got a podcast. It's very important." So I'm watching it, and I don't know if she heard me, but I'm on the bed, laptop on my belly, and I said, "F her." I didn't say F. I said the whole word, the whole 4-letter word. I was very angry with a decision she made, where I said, "Oh, she is in on all of this." But I don't like seeing like Cyril snap either. I wanted redemption for this guy for so long. He is like if you listen to the end of these episodes, he's the let's go. That's him. I've enjoyed him all the way from episode 1 of season 1, and I wanted his arc to be a redemption arc, to be like, I'm going to join you. My name is actually Jerry Skywalker. I'm part of this whole thing. I don't know. That wouldn't work really, but you know what I mean? Like, I was looking for redemption, and we do not get that. In fact, we get him almost snapping and starting to choke the life out of Dedra, even though she's a villain. I don't like seeing that. That was uncomfortable. And she says, basically, it's been in plan for years. This is how it had to be. But he didn't know that. He didn't, like, I don't know if it bothered him that everything was happening, or if everything was happening and he wasn't a part of it. He was used. Maybe that's the thing that bothered him the most. If he was in on it from the beginning, would he have had these reservations? Or would he have just done whatever Palpatine asked? I don't know. He seemed to be like, this is crazy. This is too much. This is like, what is happening here? But could it have just been like, I can't believe that all this happened behind my back and I didn't know of it. I'm part of this without being part of this. Is it just that he feels left out? I don't know. But he definitely is just like walking around in a haze out there. And while the soldiers are walking through, the green soldiers that are just like, we don't think this is a good idea. It's like, go out there and do it. And they're like, we kind of hope things mess up. Hopefully they're didn't she say like they're a little green, they might react wrong? And Ted Lasso's like, I'm counting on it. And when things didn't go that bad, they had a man on the roof, an assassin or a sniper waiting up there on a rooftop, and he shot. They like take the shot, and guess who ordered that? Dedra. She was okay with it, and the guy's like, fire at will. And I guess one of the guys' name was Will because he fired right at Will. Think about it. He did not shoot a protester, and he did not miss. This guy was a marksman. They would not put anyone up there. He shot the guard on purpose, or one of the soldiers on purpose, so that the soldiers would react and start shooting into the crowd. Then the crowd, all of a sudden, they have guns hidden. They start shooting, and it just turns into friggin' anarchy. And it's at this point where I'm watching this going, this is an incredible episode of television. There is so much going on. The stakes are so high, the tension is so high. Andor's out there the whole time. He at this point, guns are being shot, bullets are going crazy. He gets a spot where he can see Dedra, and he's like, maybe I'm going to take the shot. He never gets the shot. He seemed like he was really going to, but you know who sees him? Cyril sees him. Cyril sees him and attacks him, and he rushes at him. And a fight ensues. And I'm like, this is incredible. And I'm like, oh, God, obviously he's not going to kill Andor. We know that. But, oh, God, do I want him to die? Is this the end of him? Because think about it. He is pissed at everything going on with the Empire, pissed at everything going on with Dedra. I think maybe because he's just not part of it. Seeing all these people that he actually did not, he was there to kind of elicit or to find agitators. But I don't think he A, expected to connect to these people, or B, expected this level of violence. And he definitely did not expect the whole planet to, basically probably be rubbed out, I'm guessing. We've seen the Empire take out other planets completely. Just as an example, just to test a weapon. So this, is a much harder way of doing it, but they need the planet. They just don't need the people. So all that, and then he turns and he sees the man who has been the bane of his existence, the man who kind of put him he was making that level, his ranks up in the police force, and then boom, he's knocked down to like working in a computer at a cubicle, which by the way I would love to do, not for the Empire, just I enjoy a nice cubicle. I went to the library last week because we lost power at our house, and I found a cubicle with plugs. I hooked up to the Wi-Fi. I did work for a while. It was excellent. I told my wife this week, if you're feeling better, I might go and for a couple hours just go to the library and work there because it's wonderful. So anyway, Andor, he sees this face and he's like, "You son of a bee, slowly I turn." And he charges at Andor. The fight ensues. The fight goes crazy. He gets the upper hand. He gets the gun. He goes to point it at Andor. Now, this is where I'm like, uh-oh. This does not bode good for one of my favorite characters. Not Andor. Obviously, Andor's the best, and Andor's not going to die. We know that. It's impossible unless all of a sudden Andor gets killed, and then we're like, "Hi, I'm Candor, his twin brother, and I'll pretend to be him." We know Andor's not dying. So when Cyril looks at him, and he's like, "Who are you?" That was just like the kick in the friggin' space. I'm not going to be dirty. It's a kick. It's a kick in the where the sun doesn't shine, and you could just see he was just gutted. Like, what? And he pauses, and now I could look at it a few different ways. He pauses and he's like, "You don't know after all these years?" Or he pauses and thinks like, "Who am I? Is this who I want to be? Am I on the right side?" I don't know. I think it's more like, what? What? And that little pause, boom, shot dead. Shot down by the head of the Gorham Front, the very man who confronted him earlier, the man who, I don't know if he was the head of it, but he was the father of one of the main women. He was basically the El Presidente of the Gorham Front. I don't know what the French equivalent of the president of, he's not just a client, he's also the president. Oh, wait a minute. He's not just you know what I mean? That's a hair club reference to people of my age. So he takes him out, and I was like, whoa! I actually went no, and because I love the character, and you just look down, and he's gone, and you realize just like that, it wasn't. He didn't get killed in some by Andor. He got killed by another man who he double-crossed, who felt betrayed by him. And thankfully, Wilmon, because, he's been there the whole time too, he helps Andor get up and get going. And then that Ted Lasso mofo was like, release them. And we see all those friggin' droids. I forgot, at one point, they put Cyril into a room. He's like, wait in here. And all those droids are standing there. Now, I don't know what droids look. I don't know what model they are. I don't remember the name of the droid in the original Rogue One, but I do know that they had a droid working for them, working for the rebellion. Wasn't it Alan Tudyk as the voice in Rogue One? And it was the same droid as this model. These droids come out, they're released, release them, and it's almost like you think there's a monster because people start flying, and these droids are out there, and they're just taking people out. They're killing. I think they killed that old dude's daughter, one of the main Gorham Front people. They're just whacking people left and right, killing them. Just all kinds of anarchies breaking loose. And one of them is about to attack, oh my God, about to attack Andor, about to attack Wilmon, and then boom, gets run over, gets crushed by this truck. Now wasn't he in love with one of the women who got run over, or he saw his girl get shot down, so he's pissed. And this is the same young fella who had the shot fired in the episode 2 episodes ago, where they did the heist, which I realized, in the recap, I'm like, they were stealing weapons. Ooh. So he's the one who caused that whole thing to go awry, and the one who was crying, right? That's the same guy. He, crushes the droid, and they're like, we need to get away. Come on, let's go. Wilma needs to go back and find his girlfriend, and which I didn't know he had one, but he has one. And Andor's like, no, you need to leave. You need to leave with me now. He's like, I can't. You need to go. You need to tell people what happened. People need to know. So he's like, he's going to take the car that the guy used to crush the droid. And he looks at the droid. He's like, I need one more thing. And he takes the droid with him. And you realize that droid that he crushed, that they're going to take back, they're going to rewire him, and he's going to be the same droid that we see in Rogue One, right? Obviously, that has to be it. So that's how they get the droid to help him work with the rebellion. The end of the episode ends with Wilman's girlfriend, who's okay. She's back at their little hideout, giving a message of like, people need to know this happened. The Empire's here. They're fighting the violence. It's real. It's happening. It's not rumors. It's not propaganda. It's not, just, it's not people just talking. Like, this actually happened. Please share this. Get this out there. The world must know. The woman at the beginning of this episode, that's the clip I used at the beginning of this episode. She said it better. And then it ends with the news. You want to talk propaganda? I'm pretty sure the news was like, they were basically saying, and the Empire had to deal with these terrorists that started this whole thing. And, you must know the brave martyrs of the Empire who died this day, died defending against these rebels. And we see the bounty picker-upper little lady, Cyril's mother, crying. Is she crying because she already knows? Is she crying because she already knows her son is dead? Is she crying because of just the craziness that's going on? I don't know. Is she now? She doesn't live on that planet, right? So she's someplace else. Because didn't she came to visit at their place? But this was so long ago. That was before they came to Gorham, and he would message her from Gorham. But she's not on planet, so she's on her planet, reading, seeing this on the news and crying. I don't know if she knows her son is dead yet, but I wonder if that's the last time we'll see her. I mean, again, I hate to say this, but why would we see her again if her son's already gone? I thought he would make it to the end, or at least episode 9. Just the fact that he's gone already was such a kick in the face, even though, again, he's not on our side. He's not on our side. He's on the bad guy side. He's on the evil Empire side. But, come on, I can't be the only one who still loved him, right? And the episode, where we see Andor getting away, crying, basically like, I can't believe what just happened here. And he didn't get Dedra. We see Dedra being like, I thought she was going to rip off her collar like a priest, like get this Empire jacket off of me. But instead, she just needed to breathe a little. She was like freaking out. Her hand was shaking. She can't believe that she not only witnessed it, not only okayed it, not only stood by it, but ordered it, orchestrated it. And again, remember, this entire thing with working with the rebellion and getting an insurgence of rebels was her idea. All of this was her idea. And the Empire thinks it's great because it worked. But she's freaking out. But it's like, hey, you're like Oppenheimer. You built that bomb, and then it went off. You got to live with that consequence. That was it. That was just an excellent, excellent episode. And again, I'm going to go watch episode 9 right now. And I'm like, where do you come back from that? This feels like the last one. And I had to double check. I'm like, did I accidentally watch? Nope, this is definitely episode 8. I am excited to see how we close out this chapter, because then I assume we get another year jump for Tuesday. But that's then. This is now. Hopefully I get this episode out to you tonight. But if not, every episode, I'll get all 4 of these out by Monday. But yeah, that's it. I'm done. Listen, I'm going to watch episode 9 right now. I have a diet root beer here. I have a little bag of chips, and I'm going to enjoy myself. But until you hear me next, you can follow me on all the socials at Geek Mentality, except TikTok, which is Geek Mentality Mike. You can follow the website's YouTube channel at Fans.Experts, Facebook page of Fans.Experts, and the website itself is fansnotexperts.com. I will miss you, Cyril. Now, again, there's only 4 episodes left of the series, so you had to figure that something big was going to happen to his character. I just thought it would happen in the last group. I thought we'd see him through to the end. We didn't. His end happened tonight. And after all that, Andor doesn't even know who he is. I will see you for episode 9, but until then, thank you for listening, thank you for subscribing, and may the Force be with you.
Let's go! Fans not experts.